Hello, all, and good morning. So, today I would like to address the topic of workplace bullying, or which is known as workplace mobbing. For starters, to those of you that are just now discovering that you are a targeted individual, you are probably at the stage where you discovered that you are being harassed within your workplace as well. Most people would think that by working in an environment that people will know how to maintain a professional atmosphere, but that is not the case when you are a target. People are doing the same tactics that they are doing on the streets in the workplace. But the only thing that's different for you is a little harder to try to seek help because you got to try to stay calm and remain professional so that you can keep your job. Okay, and so for those of you that are new, I just want to explain a little bit about what workplace mobbing is. And to those of you that already know what it is, I just want to go over my story and testimony of how I dealt with it and some things that I didn't deal with that I wish I would have did differently in order to overpower workplace mobbing. For starters, workplace mobbing was founded by a psychologist by the name of Dr. H. Layman, last name Layman. In 1980, he was a psychologist who had seen a couple of clients that were coming into his office stating that they was highly stressed due to their working environment, that they felt that they was getting bullied. So upon his discovery of putting different cases together, he came up with the name workplace mobbing. First was classified as workplace bullying. And the reason why he classified as mobbing because, as you know, mobbing is when people attack one person in a group out of rage or out of trying to cause harm. You're getting mobbed, okay? So, what you can discover about workplace mobbing under the terms of Dr. Lehman, you have to research it yourself to get more information because I don't know how much information I'm allowed to give due to copyrights. Okay, but from my understanding and from my own opinion, I classify this to be a deliberate attempt to force a person out of the workplace by causing emotional abuse as well, where one person starts a rumor and then other people feeds into the rumor and start to believe the rumor. 9 out of 10, the person that is causing the rumors is someone who is probably more outspoken within the office, that is maybe classified as the leader of the group because of their charm and charisma. So people gravitate to them and maybe believe in them. Okay. And so that person starts it and flip it on you, and other people join in because they believe what this person is saying. And a lot of times I classify this type of situation as bullying on steroids because when you at work, you feel like you're a cat closed up in the corner and can't get out because you're like, oh my God, I can't go off on them because that's unprofessional. Oh my gosh, I can't go tattletelling because then I'm gonna look as if I'm the problem or I'm just extra sensitive. So how do you handle this type of situation? My thing is that I wish I would have knew back then is to stay calm as possible and start documenting. When I say document, because I know in some environments you're not allowed to record or use your cell phone. I used to work when this first started with me. I was working in a hospital setting where, due to PHI, that's private health information, we were not allowed to have our cell phones on or just walk around, or talk on our cell phones within a certain area within our workplace. So my documentation would only have to take off a memory or I was able to write sticky notes as memory, but then, sometimes when you write in that environment, writing sticky notes or paper and taking it home, they look at you suspiciously, anyways, because, like I said, you're dealing with a lot of private information. So, my main thing was to try to memorize the things that happened as soon as I went to lunch. I wrote it down in my car. I always kept a paper and pen in my car. That's what you guys should always do. Buy your those little notepads that's from the Dollar Tree, 99 cent the store, that comes with the pens, and keep them in your car. Okay, I will write it down, the date, who I had an encounter with, and why, and whatever, and how I handled it. Keep documents. That's for one. Next, the thing that I think you should always do is start to read your workplace policies. You're going to need this by the time you had enough and you're ready to move forward and talk to management. Know the workplace policies, and you also can use these workplace policies to buy you time to take time for yourself, because sometimes we don't know certain laws. Like, anybody that has a child that's school age, um, the workplace law, the it states that a mother is allowed up to 8 hours a month to take off time to tend to a child that's in school. That is the workforce policy. Look it up. It's code. I'm sorry, I should have gave you guys the codes for that, because that's important for you to understand that there's different policies set in place that we can take off work. Okay, and also you need to know your sick time, and also you know your vacation time, the differences. So if you do need that extra time because the harassment is too overwhelming and it's very hostile, and you find yourself stressed out to the point where you're losing sleep, you're not eating, or just to get to work, you have anxiety attacks, take off work. Put yourself first in this type of situation. Next, once you got your document one, once you find out a way to take time to yourself by reviewing your policies, keep your policy as notes into regards to how management is supposed to handle situations when a person has felt their environment is hostile. Remember the word hostile, because hostile is very important when dealing with harassment. Because if you go to somebody and say, "Oh, I feel uncomfortable," uncomfortable is not a strong enough word to get somebody's attention. Remember to use the term, "I feel like my working environment is very hostile and I'm trying to seek help." Okay? Remember the word hostile. Next, I want you to read different manager articles, like things how to become a manager or how a manager should handle conflicts. I'm going to get to the point of why in a minute. I'm just trying to get you to take down notes of get this stuff in order. Okay? Remember that. Google different things of how to become a manager or how managers should resolve conflicts within the workplace. Okay, so now that you got all this little detail, you got your documents, you got your workbook policy, you got your reading, your articles that you read to learn about how to be a manager yourself. So you already can go in there and know how that situation should be handled, or you can go in there with a solution of how to handle the situation. So now you have all this information. You said enough is enough. Hint, enough is enough. You go into your manager's office, supervisor first. You start off the chain of commands and state, me and so been having a little issue and I want to resolve it. And this is the things that's been happening to me. You have your paper already ready, printed out with dates and all the situations that occurred. Okay, so you may say on December 21st, I was in the hallway and I felt that so and so bumped me. I said, "Excuse me," to let them know that I was bumped, but it made me uncomfortable. I know I didn't bump that person, but I still told them, "Excuse me." The person looked at me in uh, a nasty way, whatever. Okay, you said that's when it started. Okay, then you go from there. I'm not trying to drag it on, I'm just trying to give you simple examples of something that I would document, okay? And from there, I've been feeling as if now that so and so is associated with so and so and so and so. They all are retaliating against me due to maybe this incident that took place. We all know it's not due to the bump in the hallway, it's due to the gang stalking. But if your manager is unaware of gang stalking, then you have to make it make sense. Keyword, make it make sense. Okay. So you start with there, and you guys are having this meeting. First thing is sometimes the manager's going to ask you, well, how do you want to handle it? Ding, ding, ding. Because you already researched how to handle office conflicts, you already got a list of things of how you want to handle it. So you start telling them, well, I see it's fit for us to do such and such and such and such and such and such, okay? And then you go from there. If it's not resolved, you go to the chain of commands, go to somebody that's higher than your supervisor. And once you hire your supervisor, you will say, on A, I came and had a meeting with my supervisor and told her I wanted to do this. They have not did this yet. And on page 1, your policy book states that they have 7 days to resolve a conflict, or they have 7 days to move me to another location. That has not been done. So this is why I'm coming to HR at this moment, because I feel my environment is hostile and I'm getting stressed. When you use those words, they get to jumping because they know stress can lead to a workman's comp situation. And they're not prepared to do the workman's comp situations, okay? Furthermore, with that being said, I'm going to give you a little brief. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling, but I just woke up and felt the need to talk about this. But like I said, I worked for an environment where they started harassing me and lying on me. A lady started lying and saying I was doing things to my knowledge. I don't know what she was saying, but it made me feel as if people was looking at me as if I was some type of ruthless type of individual. I had people coming up to me saying not the nastiest things to my face because I was the quiet one. I wasn't the one that was outspoken at that time. But this gang stalking stuff empowered me to come out my shell and just start talking, because you get to the point where you're like, enough is enough. So I pulled this lady to this first. I confided into the lady that I worked with, who was supposedly like a minister or an evangelist. And I say, you know what? I see you're a woman of God, but I feel this heavy tension in this office, and I'm coming to you for prayer and advice. Pulled her to the side and told her how I felt about this other individual that I knew was the head cause of my workplace mobbing situation. And I asked her that I wanted a mediation with her, not the managers, it was just another coworker, and I want her to be there as a witness. So we did. We pulled this lady to the side, and I told her, I said, Miss So and so, I feel that you're harassing me. I need to know why. What is your intent? I didn't do nothing to you. I overheard you guys stating that all these new people are coming to take your job. I said, it's not my fault that I got hired within this company, but we're here to help each other and get through this, because working in hospitals is very, very, very hard, stressful work. Because sometimes we was coming in at 4 a.m. and not leaving at 6 o'clock. So I was with these people more than my own family, okay? So long story short, when I did that, it it kind of died down because she knew I wasn't going to take it. She knew that, yeah, I was quiet, but I had enough. So it kind of died down to the point where she started trying to be nice and speaking to me like, good morning, this and this, good morning. I would say good morning to her back. Always remain professional in your office. Okay. Next, I will always try to stay calm by, if I felt I had too much going on, I would go to my car on break and listen to music. I would sit at my desk and listen to music to block them out. I would go on walks on my lunch breaks and breaks. We had two 15-minute break and one 30-minute lunch. I will go by myself. Pretty soon the people that you may be social with within your workplace, they're going to start turning on you because they don't know how to act, or they're going to start turning on you because they don't know if the information is true. So become that individual that love yourself to the point where you're not afraid to be with yourself and by yourself. So that's how I became. I became the person that was like, I'd rather just go to lunch by myself and enjoy my little music, or call my friends on the lunch break, or get on Facebook. So that's number one. Number two, stay calm and keep your head up.